What's good, YouTube? This is your girl KD, and this really is kind of gonna be brief because this is everybody's dragging through the Ayesha Curry situation. I touched on it yesterday during a live stream. Here's the thing. I listened to what she said and within the context that she said it. First and foremost, I'm going to say this. When you are a wife, you must always be mindful that when you are around other people, whether you are a celebrity or not, when you are around others, you are not only representing yourself, but you are also representing your children and you are representing your husband. You're basically a representative for your entire household, okay? And so with that knowledge, you must always be very mindful about what information you put out there, how you say things, what you say, what you do, and who you do it around, who you do it in front of, that sort of thing. You always have to be mindful of that, because when you're unmindful of these things, then there's always an opportunity for some miscommunication, some misunderstanding, for someone to drive a wedge between you and your husband or in your household, or just sow seeds of discord and chaos in your home. Rumors get started. You said something you thought was innocent, and then it gets twisted around. It get back to your husband, and now he's angry because from what he heard, you said this and you did that, and now he's angry with you. Now you got to try to explain what you said, the context you said it in, and that sort of thing. So, it's always something that you have to be mindful of. This goes times 10 when you are a celebrity or the wife of a celebrity. Now, when I listened to the clip of what Ayesha said, what she said was not so much a problem as the fact that she said it in a public setting. What she said was that they were talking about groupies and how they handle that situation, how they handle their feelings about other women surrounding their husbands and all of that. And she said, I know it's going to sound weird, but I don't get any of that. What I'm saying? Like, he's constantly getting female attention. I don't get any of that. And so when she said it, both her mother-in-law and Jada actually kind of was like, they curbed her conversation in a nice way. They did it without saying, girl, don't put your foot in your mouth any more than what you just did. And she had sense enough to not keep talking in that strain. So she went on ahead and shut it down. And they began to speak in another strain. So even though she violated wife code, like I said yesterday, you don't ever put out in the universe or out in the air that somehow you're unsatisfied. Even though she didn't say, this is Steph's problem, he did something to me, he's making me feel insecure, or Steph isn't paying me any attention. She never brought him up. She never insinuated that somehow, some way, it was his problem, his fault, he had done something to her, or he was impacting her negatively. She actually really put the onus on her. She's like, this is basically me. And it was something that you think about in something that you might have said to your girlfriend, and it wouldn't have been no harm, no foul. Okay? Me having been a married woman, I speak fluent married womanese. And some of y'all on YouTube and other social media platforms, some of y'all are taking this too far. Even though I disagree with what she did, even though I don't advocate what she did, that was a mistake. You just don't do it. However, I think some people are reading too much into it. Oh, their marriage is doomed. He need to leave her. She want other dick. Again, as a speaker of fluent married womanese, that woman ain't trying to fuck nobody else. That woman loved that man. Okay? They are a unicorn couple. Okay? He's a wealthy, young, handsome man that can get any woman or any number of women that he wants. And it just don't strike me that he just got a gang of females all over the place. She is a pretty lady who they've been together since high school, sweethearts and all that kind of stuff. And don't seem like she running roughshod over him and making his life a living hell like another woman would in her position. I think that they genuinely love each other. I think that they have a real relationship. And their marriage has challenges like anybody else's marriage. Marriage, for anybody who has been married or is currently married, I don't care what your financial status is. I don't care how beautiful y'all are. I don't care what you have, what you don't have, what your friends got, what your mama got. Marriages take work. They have ups and downs. They have challenges. And these people are human. I don't care that he's rich. He a human being. I don't care that she married a rich man and she got kids. She's a human being. Okay? Now, why did I say all of that? Because what she said was, in translation, was this. I have really only ever known Steph as a man, as my man. Now, how many other little boyfriends she might have had, who knows? But Steph has been her man. Okay? And when you are a married woman, and only women, I think, go through this. I have not heard of a man experiencing this in marriage. But when you are a woman who is intent upon being a good wife, you are concerned with your husband's welfare, your children, your household. When you're concerned with these things, as a wife should be, it is very easy for us to lose our complete identity and absorb it within the man. Okay? We forget who we are. Sometimes we don't discover who we are outside of him. We don't have lives that don't revolve around him. There's really no aspect of our lives that don't revolve around our husbands. There are no decisions that we make that don't concern our husbands. There's no endeavor that we will do that our husband don't have input on or give us permission to do, or, what have you, give us his approvals, his validations. Basically, when you are a good wife, you don't move without your husband. Everything become your husband. Nothing is you. Okay? Nothing is you anymore. You're not you anymore. You are your husband's and you are a mom. But you're not you. And I went through that. I was my husband's And since I was raising my brother and sister, I was a mom. But I wasn't me. I didn't know who Kendra was. I didn't know who she was. She was lost in the sauce. All that she was the servant. And while I say that, I don't have any regret about it. It just is what it was. That's who I was. I didn't have a self-identity. I didn't have things that I did that didn't involve my husband or the children that I was raising in some way, shape, or form. There was no decision I made that was made without thinking about how it impacted him, how it impacted the household, how it impacted the kids, I was always on the back burner. I was always at the back. I was always on the edge. I was always the last one to be considered, because you got to consider everybody else, because that's your job. You got to make the house run smooth. You got to make his life easier. You got to, you know what I'm saying? You have to do it. And when you do it in the way that it's supposed to be done, for all the times that we say women's nature is selfish, that becomes selfless, because we have to become that way. We have to become where we don't have identities anymore. And that has its challenges, because even when I was going through the phase where I didn't have an identity, I never thought to leave my husband. I never thought to cheat or to break my home in order to discover this identity that was missing. Because I wasn't as young as Ayesha was when she got with Steph, but I had not been living my adult life very long before I got married. I basically went from my parents' house to my husband's house. I had never lived by myself. I had never had to take care of myself or pay my own bills or pay my own rent or do any of those things before I got married. The closest I came to that was in a college, but you was in the dorm, and you know, your loans and this and that paid for, you know what I'm saying, your living expenses. So I still had not had that adult experience. I hadn't had that. I hadn't had any opportunity to go through anything by myself where it forged me into something else. I basically was a young woman. I had graduated high school. I had did 1 year of college, and I did like 1 year just kind of working and, you know, floating around until I got married. So I was young, and even though I was mature in a lot of ways, I was very inexperienced in life in a lot of ways too. And then having to learn how to be a wife, how to navigate a marriage successfully and like don't fuck up, right? And that's not easy. And then when you are a woman in this society that tell you that your role is nothing, that your role is stupid, that you don't contribute nothing when you are a traditional woman. You know, you're not independent, you're not your own person, you're not, you know, it tells you that you're nothing. And we get that conditioning, and every day we fight that conditioning in order to do what we know is right, which is to be a good wife to your husband, especially when you have a good husband that you love, that you want to keep your marriage, and you don't want to hurt him, you don't want him hurting you, you don't want to break your home, you don't want to break your relationship or any of that, you know. But there came a time for me where I had to sit and I questioned, was I doing the right thing? Because it become hard. It become monotonous almost. Like my days started running together. I couldn't discern one day from the next because they were all the same. And, I was sure that my husband loved me and I loved him very much. But when you're in a relationship for a long time, complacency happens. And you can't help that. You fall into routines. You fall into complacencies. You start taking things for granted. And my husband, I was sure that he loved me, but there went a long time where he didn't say it. He didn't tell me how much I meant to him, or that he really loved me, or how beautiful I was to him, or and I would sometimes have to remind him, like, you don't never say it. And it wasn't anything malicious that he was doing. He wasn't trying to hurt my feelings. He wasn't trying to, make me feel bad or any of that. It was just complacency. And he would have to remind me of stuff. I would go around and you get so into a routine, you forget to just stop and tell your man how much you love him. You forget to stop and appreciate who you have and what they've done for you and how they make you feel. And I remember when it started dawning on me in my 30s, I'm getting older. I'm not as attractive as I was. And I was already not all that attractive. And so it was like, you start worrying as a woman, well, do my husband still feel the same? Do he still want me? Am I still desirable? You think about that kind of stuff. Like, if my husband died today, it ain't no other man that's gonna ever want me. This is the only man that ever wanted me. And you doubt. You have these moments where you do. And these types of doubts that women have when we lose our identities and stuff in our marriages, there really isn't anything that your husband can do about that. This is something that you have to fix as the woman. You have to fix yourself. You have to, take heart that you're doing the right thing in your marriage. That, your husband is not taking you for granted. He loves you and he, cares about you, and he's doing everything that he can to show you these things, And all in all, it was something that was those sentiments, when I had those sentiments, because I've had those thoughts that she expressed, and I never stepped out on my husband. I never craved the touch or the sex or the anything of another man. It was validation enough for me. I would be walking down the street and a man would be like, "You're beautiful." And many of them times, I wouldn't even acknowledge that man. I wouldn't even acknowledge that he said anything to me. I wouldn't smile. I wouldn't say hello. I wouldn't say nothing. I would act like I didn't hear that. And I would keep stepping. But internally, it was like, that was nice. That was nice. And then that was the end of it. I didn't want to give that man my number. I didn't want to fuck him. I didn't want to suck him. I didn't want to betray my husband for a quick, meaningless, ultimately moment of some type of validation from a man I don't even know that ain't doing nothing for me. That if I was to betray my husband for this man right now, I would break something that I could never get back, and for a man that don't ever want to talk to me no more. Like, that don't even make no sense. So, I never entertained the attentions or the affections of any other man. While I was married, that was a no-no. That was a no-go. That was not happening. It just wasn't happening. It just was not happening at all. Like, at all. Not even a little bit. Like, not even a little bit. So, having said all of that, some of y'all is overreacting. He should leave her. That woman has been with that man and been a good wife to that man and had kids for that man. You ain't heard no scandals about her fucking nobody else and his teammates, and she was all ran through all around, and this one know how she is, and that one she sucked that one dick. You ain't ran into no scandals, but she ain't did nothing that was so egregious that you break a marriage with a woman you love with kids, and she ain't do nothing that egregious. Okay, it ain't like he came through and caught her fucking. Yeah, she said something. It was out of pocket. It was ill advised. She stuck her foot in her mouth. She should not have said that at all. The other women knew she shouldn't have said it, and they, kindly stopped her from continuing, lest she say something even more damaging. But ain't nobody finna break no marriage up for that. And a lot of y'all guys running around here, all in these chat rooms talking about he need to leave her. The type of bullshit y'all take from a strag, and he should leave Ayesha for saying that, and she ain't no strag. Y'all be taking bitches fucking y'all boy, and you don't leave that bitch. So I don't even want to hear nothing about, man, he should leave her and take his kids. Like, y'all flexing over the motherfucking internet on some shit you wouldn't do with a bald head ass strag that fuck all your friends. And you still ain't left that bitch. Okay, you find reasons to stay with that goofy bitch. And she don't do nothing but cook you and make a damn fool out of you. That's all she do. Is she say all kinds of shit on TV. She say all kind of crazy shit to your face, behind your back, in a crowd of motherfuckers. She embarrassed the shit out of your ass. She cuss you out in public. She acts a goddamn fool. She calls the police. She tell other motherfuckers you can't fuck. She emasculate the shit out of you in front of your friends. She do all kind of goofy ass shit, and you stay right with that bitch. So please, y'all, the same motherfuckers get on the internet talking about Steph Curry ought to leave Ayesha. Boy, bye. That bitch you with is a whole 3 on the scale, and you can't manage to leave her fat ass alone. Okay? So some of y'all just flexing for no reason. And some of y'all doing this shit ain't got no woman to leave. Okay? And she ain't did nothing that a stern conversation between her and her husband will not correct. Okay? All he gotta do is let her know why that was so inappropriate for her to do, for her to say in a public setting where everybody can get a sound bite and, drag through the internet, and all of that type of shit. So, that's all that is. Y'all is taking shit way out of context. Way out of context. And yes, this is not short. It is like 25 minutes long almost. Whatever. Y'all know I be lying about short videos. So I don't even try to trip. But yeah, that marriage is not doomed. He just gonna talk with her a little bit, and then that's it. And she, probably feel bad about it now. She probably ain't even gonna say nothing else. You probably couldn't pay that woman to say something else like that no more. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think it was anything malicious in what she said. I don't think she had any malicious intent. And I don't think that she had any intention to disparage him But regardless of the intent that she had, it happened anyway. You see? So now it's a big hullabaloo that she probably didn't even think was a big deal, and it is. So with that being said, I'm out. Y'all hit like, share, and subscribe. Share this video. And hit the links. Okay, just because I'm not live don't mean you can't hit the link. I'm gonna put all the links in the description box like I usually do. You feel me? Spread the word. You feel me? Man, got to tell y'all do that. Now I'm just messing with y'all. But do like, share, and subscribe. And also, don't forget to hit the link for Patreon. I'm going to start putting my After Darks on the Patreon, and any patron, $1 and up, will be able to see these videos. Okay? All right. And I'll talk to y'all later.